Hey everyone, Duran here, and I'm with Asar. Asar completed a hypnosis session with me uh, about a month and a half, 2 months ago from now. So I just wanted to interview him about his experience with me, so that way you all can get a better idea about what it's like to actually do some form of hypnosis or hypnotherapy. So the first question I have for you, Asar, is what was the problem or the, let's say, challenge you were struggling with prior to us working together?
Um, Depression, um, fear, frustration, anger. It was bottled up emotions, years of bottled up emotions
Okay.
that I was dealing with,
Okay.
and I thought I was dealing with it, but I wasn't dealing with it, of course, as well as I should have. But years
Yeah.
of bottled up emotions.
Yeah. And how how was that affecting you? All those things, the depression, frustration, bottled up emotions.
It affected me in life, period. Mentally, emotionally, even physically. Now I wasn't physically sick, but I wasn't as healthy as I should be. Wasn't working out and running, the way I used to. So it affected me mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically.
Yeah.
Definitely that.
Okay. And how did you try to, let's say, deal with it? I know you mentioned earlier you were dealing with it. What was your way of trying to deal with it before?
I've always been the type to internalize things. My mom told me not too long ago, because I had went through a breakup, and it was visibly, uh, you could see it. I was showing my disappointment in the breakup, and my mom told me, she was like, and I'm 55 years old, and my mom said, I'm surprised that you are showing your feelings, because you've never been the type to show your feelings. You've always been the one to internalize. You, like, your siblings show their emotions, you never do. Um, and I realized like, yeah, mom, know you. I internalize a lot of things, and I just try and cope with it. I just, for me, it's like, you know what, just move forward and it'll work itself out. I was trying to just, focus on things that I wanted to do, things that I wanted to accomplish, thinking that if I accomplish the things I want to accomplish, those things will work themselves out, not realizing that those things not being worked out was also hindering me from accomplishing the things that I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah. And after your session, what's been different for you?
And it's crazy, right? It's night and day, because the answer was there the entire time. All of the obstacles that was in front of me were mental. I allowed them to become obstacles.
Mhm.
I did time for something I didn't do. I allowed that to become an obstacle, instead of just not only fighting through it, but figuring out ways to overcome it. Um, Losing my dad at 15, losing my daughter when after she turned 17, those are emotional obstacles, but you have to choose to get past them. There were a lot of roadblocks that I was simply choosing to hinder me. After that session, and it was like, man, how can you go this long and it be that simple? And it's something that even my dad used to tell me as a child. Everything starts with the mind. Everything is mental. Um, and to realize, man, I'm standing in my own way. Just get out your own way. Stop choosing to allow these things to hinder you. And it just opened up, for me, it just allowed me to be like, you know what, no more fear, no more frustration, no more being depressed. It's time to go get it. To phrase the coin, I'm gonna live free, I'm gonna die trying. And that's how I feel. Once you free yourself mentally, it frees up everything else.
Yeah, and that is the beauty of hypnosis, Asar, which I make an effort to speak about to people, is we all think that the solutions that we have in life are very intricate and complicated. And there's a quote that I used to share a lot, and I'll share it with you and anyone else who watches this later on. And it's a Confucius quote, and he says, "Nothing is more complex than simplicity." And I love that quote because we make this most simplest thing very, very complex and complicated, because by us doing that, it makes us have a more and more difficult time in actually becoming aware of what the solution is. Like you said, I frustrated, fear, and depression. So like even after a session, do you still struggle with those things?
No.
Yeah.
I just spent the weekend with my daughter, my youngest daughter, who's 15, almost 16 now.
Mm-hmm.
I even allowed those situations to keep me from spending as much time with her as I should.
Yeah.
Being in that depressed state, and just being in that that box, and that's not even my spirit. My spirit is free spirited. Being in a box, being locked in, that's not even who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So spending the weekend with her, talking and speaking with her, having fun, I'm like, man, I can't believe I've wasted so much time, but moving forward, I'm not wasting time, you
There you
know.
go.
So yeah, it's made huge changes. I'm out there creating. Things are slow, but I'm still out there working to create income streams. I'm still writing. I'm still pushing the movies that I've written. Um, and more opportunities are opening up. I'm staying faithful and positive. So it's like I'm riding the bike a lot more. I'm walking a lot more. I'm about to start running. I'm gonna go get me some sweats, and it's just different now. The mindset is different.
Awesome. I love it.
Get it, man.
Now, be honest with me too. What was your thoughts of hypnosis prior to doing the session with me?
I've heard about it, but I wasn't sure about it.
Mm-hmm.
And because I hadn't experienced it, I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. I wasn't a big fan of it. I could say that until afterwards. So I was like, oh wow, because I told I even told my mom, and she was like, how was it? I was like, it was awesome. And she just laughed. It's like, okay, anything that helps.
Yeah.
And she was glad that it helped me out. And I've had a couple of friends, even my daughter's mother asked me, how was the experience? And I told her it was great. So, and I meant to tell you, she may be giving you a call as well, because she was like,
Wonderful.
man, she used to be hesitant about it, but when I told her I experienced it and how it was, she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, it helped
Now
out a
you see
whole
why
lot.
I do these recordings now,
Right.
huh? Because ideally, I want people to realize that everyone is coming into it with this same expectation. I don't know what it is. I'm kind of fearful of it. I don't know much about it. Because now, if you're explaining it to someone about hypnosis, how would you explain it?
um, well, the way I explained it was, you basically led me to the solution, mentally. You led me
Yeah.
mentally. And you allowed me through the process to find the answer. You
Yeah.
didn't give me the answer, you allowed me to find the answer mentally. And that's
Mentally.
where it
Yep.
starts. mentally.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow. And when you get there, you want to be like, really? You know, it's
Duh.
like, oh, duh. Like
Yeah.
all these years. And it's like, wow. But you'd be surprised at how, once you take a person through that, you
Hmm.
think you've known it, you practice it, but you haven't until that moment.
Yeah.
It's like,
Was it
wow.
scary at all? Did it seem like I was controlling you?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't scary. It didn't even seem to me. It didn't seem controlling. Um, and I was just willing personally to just go through it. Like whatever you said, just trust the process. I allowed
There you go.
myself the process, and
Wonderful.
I'm glad I did because, like I said, I'm like duh, but I'm thankful for that duh because now I'm free to live and not stress, not worry. It's like, man, what happened happens. This is life. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna keep building. I'm gonna keep striving, no matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And what's great, to just
I
mention
would
to
advise
everyone,
anybody, to go through the process and go ahead.
yeah, one thing I was just going to advise, or just mention to everyone that it hasn't even been, definitely hasn't even been 2 months. And I just want you all to hear the progress and results Asar has been getting. And the results are going to continue happening after you do a session. There's the processing happens more and more and more. And what's really great about it is as you start to become more focused on the particular task in front of you, your mind is starting to do all that rewiring for you because it knows if you're getting involved. So think about it like this. Great example is if you own a company and you can tell an employee to do something, but they can't do it because you keep getting in the way, like, hey, do it this way, do it this way. That employee's not going to be able to get the outcome done because you keep stepping in. So the mind is the same way, where when you become focused on another task, your mind starts doing all that stuff on its own because you're not trying to butt in, and things start clicking, things start clicking, things start clicking. And then you go into the, duh, how come I never thought of it? When really you've always thought of it. You just never gave yourself the opportunity to actually listen or hear what you're actually saying, because the solutions are there for everyone, just like it's there for Asar. And I'll definitely be doing another follow-up with him, so you all can see how much more the results actually transpire as the weeks, months, and even years go on, because I know a lot of people are always curious about, okay, but what happens a year from now or 2 years from now? So when we do that follow-up, you're going to be amazed at how everything that happened just now is going to compound over time because it's just clicking, clicking, and clicking. So thank you so much for everything that you shared with me, Astar. Is there anything else that you'd like to mention before we wrap this up?
Hey, I'll advise anybody to get with you and go through the process. I'm telling you, it's an eye opener, and it definitely will allow you to start living again. So that's my advice to anybody. If you're ready to live again, hit up Darren and go through the process.
Awesome.
And I
Well, I
thank you,
appreciate
brother.
that. Yeah, absolutely appreciate that, Asar.
Uh-huh. Thank you.